If you remember, we design, and what we will do to this is just customize it in the way we want. Now what we do when we create the home page and design it the way we want is we create a standard structure for the whole website, and we can use some of these rows for other pages, which you will see later on in the video. So let's go ahead first of all and go to our Russell Morris folder, and we'll open the home page folder and we'll go to the Word document. You can see here that we have our images already. But let's go to the document first, which will give us the instruction in terms of what content we're adding. So let's open that up a little bit and let's go back to the home page. Now, as you can see here, we'll be adding Russell Morris to the top. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll change this out. We want Russell here. We want a space. And then we're going to put Morris here. Now, you'll see that I've actually done the text in between characters. And that's really just to keep the format so that I don't have to redo the format. We'll take out the M. And there we have Russell Morris. Now I want to change the size. The standard text for the whole website will be Arial, so let's go ahead and change that to Arial. And for the header, I want it to be around 42 pixels. So let's click the 42, which makes the text a little bit bigger, and we'll keep it central so that it remains the same as it was in the template. Okay, the next thing I want to look at is social media. I don't want all of these social media channels. I just want Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So let's go into the settings of this module, and we will uncheck Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google+. Now, because we've removed some, we want them to be a little bit bigger. So we're going to make them at 75 pixels by 75 pixels. We will keep them central, and we just want them in one row. So we'll apply the changes, and you'll see the changes take place. Now, just so that you can see how we put the links in, let's just copy these here. We'll go back to the settings, and we'll start putting our links in. Obviously, this will be your Facebook page, and then we'll put the YouTube. And then we'll put the Twitter. So now we have the links in there, and we can apply the changes, and that will be complete. So the next thing we want to do is go to the next row. So we're going to change the image in this row. So we want to go into the row settings, which are just here, and it's the same for every single row, and it controls all of the settings within your row. Now, since we want to change the background image, we're going to click the background, and this will say here the image to the layout. So let's click on that, and you'll see the old image appear. Let's click on the magnifying glass because we want to search for another. And we're going to upload an image. So we will go to Russell Morris, and we'll go to homepage. This is the image that we want to load. So we'll just click on the image and open that. You'll see the file upload. And then we will insert that image. You'll see the image load there. Just make this central, and we'll keep it fixed, which means it rolls, and then we'll just save the changes by closing that out. And remember to save the changes here, and you will see the image change. And there you have it, the new image already loaded. So now we want to do the margins. So what we're going to do, you'll see this is a percentage here. Just click this so you can see where we are. We're going to keep this on percentage, and we will change this to 20% because we want to give this image more depth. So we're just going to make it a little deeper. So we'll add the 20 and the 30, and we'll keep the padding left and right at 3%. The other thing that we want to change is the width. So rather than having it 100%, we're going to change the width to 90%, which will give that a little bit of padding left and right. So now we'll save the changes and you'll see the changes take place. Now what you'll see is that more of that image is showing because we gave it a greater percentage. So now what we're going to do is add the header text. So we'll click on the header text, and this is the text that we want to change out. So let's go back to here, and we want to put in how to build your website. Okay, so now let's put that in here. I'll just do Control and V, and you'll see the text there. Now we want this at 60 pixels. So we'll take it to 60 pixels. And we want that bold. And we want it to the left, which it's at. I'd like to make that a little bit bolder. So what we'll do is we'll change this to Arial Black. So that makes it a little bit bolder, and we'll then put that into a white text. So we'll change the color around. So that pretty much completes that heading text. Now, the next thing that we need to do, there is some opacity in here, and you can see some shadow around the text. We want to take all of that out. We'll make this a solid color by changing this to 100%. And then we'll take off this glow and we'll put it to no shadow, and we'll apply those changes. And now you have completely white text that has no shadow. So now let's add some more text underneath. Now we're going to add this text here. And we just push the line down, and then we Control and V. And we want this text at 50 pixels. A little bit smaller, and we want it in Arial, and we want to keep it in black. In fact, let's change the color slightly. So we're going to go in here and we're going to put a custom color in there. We're just going to change that to hex code 555555, which is off black, as you can see here. Okay, this takes the darkness off. And then we'll save those changes. We'll just remove this here. Now let's add some more text below this header. So the next thing we will do is we want to add another module. So we're going to click in this column, we will click the plus button here to add another module. So the first thing that we want to do is add a vertical space, because we want some space between the header and the subheader text. So we'll add in the vertical space. And let's look, here's the vertical space. Now we want to go to the settings in here, and we want to change that to 30 pixels. So we'll apply that change. And the next thing we want to do is we want to add some subheader text. So we'll add another module, and this time we will choose the subheader text, which will give us smaller text when we create the subheader text. Now let's go back to the Word document, and we will take this text here and we'll add this in, go here. And we'll replace this text here. So we'll just Control V, paste that in, and we'll just put an exclamation point on there. And we want this text to be around 36 pixels. So let's take that to 36, and we also want it to be Arial, and we will keep it black. And we'll save the changes. Now let's take a look at the page, and we will see that the header has changed considerably. So let's go ahead and make some more changes to our home page. So now let's look at row 2. Now here we want to change the header text. So let's go back to our Word document and we want to add in there, plan your website. So let's copy this and we will click on the area that we want to change. And again, Control and V. And now we want to centralize this text. We will make this text 58 pixels. We'll change it to Arial. And we're going to change the color also to hex code 555. And then OK. Now let's take a look at row 3. Now we want to add some subheaders at the top, or some headers at the top. So the next thing that we need to do is add the subheader. So we click the plus sign in the column, which is here, and we'll add a subheader, which is here. We'll add, by clicking the plus sign, which is here, subheader. You'll notice that the subheader has gone under the image and we want the subheader above the image. So what we're going to do now is click that, hold, drag and bring it to the top. So now let's get the text that we want to add to the header. So we'll go to the Word document and we want to add goals and objectives to the first one. So we'll copy this and we will click in the area that we want to put it, and we will go Control and B, and then it goes. Now what we'll actually do is change this to 34 pixels. It's about the right size, and we will change it to Arial and we'll make it central, and we'll save. Now we want to duplicate this across the top, so rather than actually repeating that work that we just did, let's just go ahead and duplicate the subheader module. So we'll do that twice and you will see the subheaders below the image. So now what we will do is drag this subheader there, and we'll drag the other subheader into the last column. So now we have the 3 subheaders all in a row, and all we need to do now is get the text and add the new text. Now I'm going to show you another trick that will make things a lot easier. Now we don't want to keep changing this text, so this time we will click the little 2 arrows of source code and we will put the new text in between the tags, which is down here, and we'll just paste that in and then OK, and then save. And we'll do the same again. And we'll click on the text area, click code, and we'll add this in. And we'll paste that in there. So there's our headers, fully complete and very easy to do. Now let's fix our images. Now we're going to make the images 300 pixels by 300 pixels. So we need to click in the settings, and you'll see that the settings at the moment are set on a percentage. So let's change the percentage to pixels, and we'll add this one also to pixels, and we're going to change the setting to 300, and we'll change this to 300 also, and we will apply that setting. So now you can see the image has reduced in size. Now let's make some other changes to this also. Now we'd like to put a border on there, and we'll make that border, I think, 5 pixels. So if you can see here, there is a border, and we're going to change that to 5, and we will change the color of the border to F7, 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 which you will see here is a very, very light gray. Now you can change the color if you want by dragging the cursor around here, but let's keep it at F7, F7. Let's just change it out again, and then we'll OK that. So now we've actually changed the color of the border. Now what we're going to do is just going to add a little bit of a shadow in there. So we'll take that to level 2, and then we'll put some radius around the corners of the image, and we'll make that around 12 pixels, I think. And then we'll apply that to make the change. And we will show you this in a minute on the live page. Now let's change the image. And we want to change the image to goals and objectives. So again, we need to upload the image. It will take us directly to the file that we were in before, and this is the image that we will be putting in there, goals and objectives. And we'll insert the image. Insert. Now let's look at how it looks on the home page. So we'll just refresh that page, and we'll go down and take a look. So there you see it, we've got goals and objectives, plan your website, and the 2 larger images. So we're just going to make the other 2 a little bit smaller so that it fits in. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. Now we're going to delete these because we don't want to duplicate that work again. So we'll delete those modules, and we're going to duplicate this one. So all that we need to do now is add a new image. So we'll drag them in here, and drag this one up there, and then we'll click on that image and go to upload an image, and this time we want content and images. So we'll click on that image there and let open, insert, and then we will click on this one, upload image, and we want website structure, the image in there. So let's add that and insert, which is here, and you will see now that we've added all of our images, and all of those changes have taken effect on our live page, which is here. Perfect. So the next thing we want to do is change the text that we have below the images. So let's go back to the page builder, and this is a new row. So all we're going to do is get the text that we have in our Word document, and we're going to copy this, and we will put it in here. Control V, and we want it Arial, and we want it around 18 pixels, I think, and aligned left. Perfect. And then we'll just update that, and you can see the text is a little bit close. We want the paragraphs to be separated, so the only thing that we need to do here is separate this paragraph, just a space, return, return, and that should have done. So let's now refresh this page, and you will see the changes. Perfect. Now the only other thing that I would want to do on here is just reduce this space here. So we'll go back to the page builder. So now we're going to go into the row settings of the row 3, and we will reduce this to 0. And we'll update and just see the changes. So now the text will be a little bit closer to the images. Okay, so let's go ahead now and work on this photo gallery area and change it to the way we want it. So let's take a look at row 6, which is the gallery area. Now the first thing that we will do is go to the settings of the row, and we're going to increase the depth of that particular row. So we're going to change it to 30% at the top and 30% at the bottom. I'll just save those changes so you can take a look, and you will see now that there's more depth in the whole section. Now let's go ahead and change the image, and in order to do that we go back to the row settings and we're going to change the background image. So let's click on the magnifying glass, we'll upload a new image, and we want to upload this color matters. So let's upload and open that. Let's click insert and add the image, and we'll put this in the middle as well, and we'll keep it fixed. We'll close and we'll save. So now you'll see the image is in there, looking a lot better as well. So let's go ahead and get the text that we're going to put in this content module. So we will take color matters, and let's just get that here. And we're going to put that where it says photo gallery here. I'm going to paste that in okay there. And the next thing we need to do is get the color, choose the right color scheme. I'll put that in underneath there. And we want that in the center, and we want that at around, say, 58, I think. That would be a nice size. Yes. And we'll have that in white, and we'll save the changes. Great. Now the next thing that we need to do is, you'll see that there's opacity and there's, I think, a little bit of shadow in there. So let's go in and take that off via the settings. So you can see the opacity is 80%. We want that 100%, and we don't want any glow. So we'll just take no shadow and apply that. Now what we could do is put a little bit of an outline so that the text is more visible. So let's put a little bit of an outline in there. Let's say at 125, and then we'll put maybe 555, 555, which is again off black, as you can see here. And we'll just okay that and apply. So now you'll see that we've got this nice outline that makes the text a lot more visible on the website. So let's just take a look at that and see how we're looking. As you can see, it's very clear, and all that we need to do now is just make a few changes on this button, and we're ready to carry on with the next section. Okay, so now let's take a look at the button and make some changes. So let's click on the settings, and we have the button checked here, which at the moment says view gallery. So we will change the button text to get creative. So let's copy that there, and we'll put that in there. We also want to add a link, so we're going to put the color wheel for Adobe, and we'll add that into the link field there. Now we want this button to open in a new tab, so we're going to check this box here, and then we want the button to be a nice red. So let's just change this red and make it like that. Pull this across, and then we'll okay that, and then when you hover the button, we want it to turn black. So we'll just have it an off black color, which is there, and then we want the text to be white, which it is. So hover text is white, sorry, the normal text is white, and then the hover text also, that's white, so that's as we want it. So we won't make any changes to that. Now we want to make this button a little bit bigger, so we will go 2 times as big. Oops, that's 3 times. 2 times bigger, and we will have the text at 22, which is right, and we'll change the font to Arial. We want to keep the curve. We don't want a border, so we'll keep that the same, and we're pretty much done here, and we'll apply the changes. So now you can see the changes have taken effect already. If we go to the live page, you will see how that looks now, and then when we hover over it, it goes a little to the off black color. So that is that section finished, and you can see the website starting to shape up and taking the style that we want to add to our website. So the next row is this one here, which will be row 6, which is here. So first of all, what we will do is delete the divider. We want to remove that divider. So we simply click the delete X and it will be gone. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is change this to 5 pixels. So we have a vertical space of 5 pixels at the top. Now we want to put another space at the bottom, and we want to get that at around 40 pixels. So we will duplicate this and it will automatically go to the bottom, and we will change this to 40 pixels. Now we don't want it percentage, we want it pixels. So make that pixels, or change that to pixels, and just apply. And let's just double check this one at the top to make sure that it's pixels. It's not, it's percentage, so we want to change it to percentage as well. Now we've done that, we also need to remove the button because we do not want the button. So we'll just delete out the button. And we're pretty much done when it comes to creating this section. So let's go ahead and just change the row settings, and we want this to be at around 30 top, 30 bottom. So we'll change this to 30 pixels, this one here to 30 pixels, and we'll just save those changes. Close that out. The next thing that we want to do is change the text in this header. So let's go ahead and change this to build your website. So we'll copy that, and again we'll click in here and we'll go to the code and we'll just put it in here so that we save a little bit of time. And OK. We'll make that save, and then let's go and get the text. I'm going to copy that, click in here, and I'm going to put the text in here. Control V to paste. And if you remember, we wanted the spaces between the paragraphs. So what we need to do is press return, 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 and return, so that we have the spaces. And then we will save that. And the next thing that we want to do is just change the image. So let's take the image and we will upload a new image, and we're going to put in this build your website here, or build you website, which is something. So we're going to open that, and then we will insert. Now that doesn't fit the way we want it, so we're going to have to change the image settings. So let's go into the image settings, and we're going to work this on percentage, and we will have this at 90%, and we will change the width to 65%. And just apply. So now we have a larger image that will shrink with mobile when it goes through different devices. And I think we'll put a radius on this as well. So let's go into the settings and put a little bit of a border radius, and we'll make that maybe 24 pixels. Let's make it 16 pixels, and we'll apply that. And then let's just take a look at the changes that we've made. and it looks a completely different page, and the text is there. And I think what we can also do is make this text a little bit larger so that it fills out more of the page. So let's take this and we will change this. In fact, we haven't changed it, so that was probably the problem. So let's change this to 18 pixels, and we'll put that in Arial, and we'll save the changes. And now what we have is content going down the page. And what I think we'll also do is just put some space in between build your website and the content so that it looks a little better. So we're going to duplicate this again, the vertical space, and we'll drag it up here, and we will give that maybe 15 pixels just to give it some space below, and then refresh, and we're looking a bit better now. So let's take a look at the next row, which is row 7. Let's scroll down to row 7, and we will add some new header text in, which is develop your website. And again, we'll go into the code and we'll just put that in here just to make it easy. Okay, and then we need to change the style of the text, so we're going to add that as Arial, and I think we'll keep it at 58, and then we're going to put in the text. Let's just drop that, and then let's put in the text here. Control V to paste it in. We're going to add that paragraph in there, and we want it Arial, and we want it at around 18 pixels, and I think black is okay, and let's make it central as well. In fact, let's do this. Let's keep it all one, and we will change this to around 20 pixels, I think. And we'll just take a look at that and see how it's looking. So we've got the header text in. Now I think that we need some space below there, so let's put a vertical space in between develop your website and the text. So again, we will add a vertical space, and we'll click plus sign. Let's close this down and put it to the side, and then we'll drag this up above there, and let's give it, let's say 40 pixels, so that we've got plenty of space in there. Yes, I think that will be better. Now let's work on the button. So we will change, we'll keep this here, and we will change this to more resources. And we will add a link in. So this is how we add a link in when it's an internal link. We will just put resources, because that is the name of the page, and then we just .aspx, and then we'll apply. So now that will go off to the resources page, which we'll show you in a minute. Now let's just make some more changes to the button. We want to make it a rectangle curve. Let's make the font size 22, And I think that should be about it. Let's change the background color to white. Let's change this here. Apply that. Yeah. I think that's good. So let's just see the size again. 22, and I think we'll make that to 2 times the size. So it's a little larger. And I think that's looking good. So let's make an update to that page. Perfect. I think I'd like to make one more change, and we're just going to add a little bit more color to this page. So let's go in and change the background color. So for that we need to go into the main row settings, and we're going to change the background color, which is next to the background image, and we will change this to a nice, I think a lightish orange, and we'll see how that works. We'll OK that, and then we'll save the changes. And then let's go back to the page, refresh. Perfect. Now there's one thing missing on this page, and that is a footer. So that is what we're going to do next. We are going to add a footer in that you can add across the whole of your website. So let's go back to the page builder. Let's just close out the builder settings and let's scroll to the bottom, and then we'll add our footer. So when we're adding a new row to a page, we need to go to the page builder and click the pencil. Now this will bring out a tab where you can start adding rows and managing more elements of your page. So we want to add a pre-designed library layout. So let's just see what we can choose. Now we want to choose a footer. So let's click the footer, and then we're going to add by clicking the plus button. Now what this will do, it will bring up a lot of selections that we can choose from. Now I've already decided which one I would like, and that is footer number 1. So we're going to go ahead and click on this one, but you'll see that there are there's 2 pages. So you will see that there are 2 pages of footers, but we just want this one here. This is the one I like. So we're going to click on this, and we'll keep it as footer number 1, and we'll add that to the page. Now let's just close this momentarily, and let's scroll to the bottom of the page, and you will see that we've added a new footer. Now I don't want the blue element to this footer, so what I'm going to do is I will customize it slightly so that we can just keep this and keep it in a new row, and I want to do it this way just really to show you in this tutorial how you would go about doing it. So let's go back to the page builder, click the pencil, and we're going to add a custom layout. Now what I want to do is I want to choose one with 4 columns. So let's go ahead and find the one with 4 columns, which is here. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to call it custom footer. So now we have the content from that row. We can delete the custom row or the pre-designed layout that we put in, because we no longer want that. So now we have our own custom row that we put in using one of the pre-designed layouts. So now let's go ahead and change the subheader text, and let's fix up this footer so it's looking good. So first of all, we will just change this out to Arial. We'll keep the text size the way it is, and we'll just do that to each of them. Let's just quickly do this. We'll just up to Arial, click off and save. Same again, highlight, click off and save. We will change this to quick links. So quick links. And we want this Arial at 22. So let's put that at Arial and we want it at 22. We're done. Okay, so now let's look at the social. We'll just keep the email address. In fact, we will change this out as well. I think if we change this to 16 and Arial, that will probably look better. Yes, it will. And we don't want all of the social media, so we'll take out LinkedIn, Instagram, and Google. So we'll keep that. And if we go back here, we have our, let's just put these in so that we have it done. It's important to get your footer done and completed before you start copying it onto other pages, simply because you will save time by not having to replicate the work again. So I'll just put this Twitter in here. Okay, so I'm going to apply that. We want those a little bit bigger, I think, as well. So let's make those a little bit bigger. Let's make that 75. Apply. Okay, so let's now add the links in the about. So let's take the, I'll copy and paste these. Control C. Let's do that. Copy. We'll just bring that down and we will put that in here. Control V. And just take that up. Make sure that that's in Arial, which is the standard for the text. We want that at 16 as well, so it's larger. And then we'll just save those changes. So let's do the quick links. Just go and get the text, and we'll copy this, and we'll add that in here. Control V, and just move these. And just take this out. Sometimes this will happen, and it's just something. And then we'll add in the bullets. This is, and then we'll make the changes. Then let's take a look at the footer, and it's looking a lot better, but we are going to make some changes to this as well. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to put some spacing at the top. So we're going to add maybe 20 pixels above and 20 pixels at the bottom. So that will give this some margin. So let's just take a quick look back at this, and that looks a lot better when it's like this. And the other thing that we will also do is we're going to change the width to 90%. So, and we're doing this in column setting, in the row settings. So that will now just give us a little bit of border around the edges, and it squeezes that in nice and tight. Now the next thing that we need to do, which is the final thing for this footer, is to add the hyperlinks to all of these. So let's just click into this, and we're going to highlight this about, and we will click the edit link, and we want to put a link in there. So we will be putting, in fact we'll take about Russell. In fact we'll leave this as about Russell, because what we will do is we'll change. So again, all we need to do is put the name, the link name of the page. So we have this at the moment as about, but I'm going to change that to about Russell, and then we put .aspx at the end, and the display is about, and then the target is none. So we'll keep the, you can either open this in a new window or just open it in the same window, so we'll keep that as the same. So we've now added a link to that, so you can see the about and the underline. So let's do the same with resources. Yeah, and you can see here what we've done is we've got resources ASPX, and we'll just put that in there. None. Okay. I'm going to add all of the links to the about and the quick links, so I'm going to speed up the video now so that it doesn't waste your time watching me doing the same thing. Just wanted to show you this last one so that you can see how we're actually doing these. Just right clicking now and fetching the link from the Word document. I'm going to copy that, put it in, paste it in there, and we want this to open up. In fact, we want all of these quick links to open up in a new window, and they are all like that. And that's pretty much all of the links done. The footer is complete, and we can just decorate that if we want with some lines down the side. So let's just add a border to the left. So we just want to add a little border, and we'll save that. So again, we're going into the column settings now, so let's just close that out. So we put a border to this left side here, and we're going to put a border to this left side here. We'll just keep it at 1 pixel, and then we'll put a border to this one here. So we'll just click that. It's very, very simple to add borders, and if you want to change the color, you literally just click on there, and we'll just change that there. And then we will take a look at the main page, and you will see now that we've got all of this set up and the lines are down there. So the only thing that we would need to do is put a vertical space here, and we're going to add some spacing in here just to bring it away a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. So we want to add some padding, and the way we can do that is just click into here, and we're going to add some padding of just 5 pixels, and that should be enough, which will bring that out a little bit. Let's take a look. And we've just pushed that out a margin, which is perfect. And then to bring this line further down, we're going to add some vertical space. So we'll add a vertical space in there. And let's put, we'll set that at say 50 pixels for now and see how it works. And you will see how you'll just need to adjust the settings to get it right so that all of these are balanced. But you probably want to put another 25 pixels on there. So we'll just go back to the vertical setting, change this to 75, and that should be enough. And then you'll just refresh the page, and there you go. Okay, and finally there's one thing left to do. What I would like to do is bring this menu below the header, so that Rosamoros is at the top and the menu bar is above the actual banner itself. So let's go back to the top and let's just see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving this bar here, the menu bar, below this white row, which is the header. So the way we do that is we go into the page builder and we go to the settings and we click this expand, modify layout order, and we just click that. So what we want to do is we want to take this menu below the header. So all we're going to do is click and hold, drag and let go, and you will see the page order change. I think the best way to look at this right now is to go to the main page and you will see the order change. We will adjust this menu later on, but it's one of the last things that we will do. So we've completed the home page and we are ready now to go on and build the rest of the pages. So let's go back to the page builder and start filling out the rest of the pages.